we're talking about experience. And a few years ago, I heard a story on one of the night talk shows about, you know, there was a problem in San Francisco with a building, and they were fixing the building, and they didn't know where some of the pipes were and some of the electricity was. So, they start brainstorming, and someone, excuse me, and someone says, "Let's find out who designed and built the building." So they check it, and they find out that it was built in the 1940s or 1950s, and the guy that designed it and the engineer was in a retirement home. So they go to the retirement home, they get the guy, and the guy comes and he walks up and down the stairs, and he taps here and taps there, and he says, "Drill there." And they drill there, and great enough, that's where they should have drilled. And then they said, "Send us to the invoice." So he sends the invoice, and he sends an invoice for, this, mileage, $50. Screwdriver, $25. Um, walking up and down the stairs, $25. The experience of 50 years to know where to knock on the door, that's $50,000. And I never forgot that story. I never forgot that story. I have no qualms about pricing my services when people come and say, "How much does it cost?" Because I always think about that person. We know where to knock. We know it because we have the experience and we have the knowledge. We don't know how to explain that sometimes, that we have the experience and we have the knowledge. And sometimes it may be a boring discussion talking about yourself, but it's what we all do. We sell our experience, or we sell our knowledge. What the first teacher I had in accounting after I left university, my first teacher was a senior partner in a large firm in Toronto. He told me, go see this client, and I go see the client, and I come back, and I took like 50 years of financial statements with me, and I went to this restaurant, and we discussed it with him, and I could not get across the client, and I kept talking to the client about how bright I was, and how I won the premier's this, and how I was the best guy in tax for the office, and the guy was just, bored. So I come back to the office, and I tell that to my boss, and he opens his drawer, and he takes a bottle of aspirin out and puts it on the table, and he says, "Eric, accountants, we are the aspirin for the headache that the client has. That's it." And that's what we are, the aspirin for what the client headaches is.